all 9 original songs in The Boys, ranked. The Boys' tendency to parody pop culture has often extended into many original songs, some of which are genuinely great. Regardless of which characters The Boys parodies, the Prime Video show has never pulled any punches. This can be said for the genuinely scathing nature of some of the jokes, or the sheer amount of effort that is placed into poking fun at wider political, social, or pop culture elements. The Boys' many supernatural actors, especially those included in Season 5, are proof of that, with a big action set piece riffing on the latter show. Going beyond that, though, The Boys' final season has continued to showcase just how dedicated the show is to making its story, characters, and their arcs both rival real life in a way that is disturbing, and making jokes about that very fact. By the time of The Boys Season 5, Episode 7's ending, the show has seemingly included its last scene regarding a specific type of parody: original songs. Oh Fathers Raise Him Up poked fun at the idea that Homelander is God by riffing on modern gospel music, calling to mind the many other original songs featured throughout The Boys' 5 seasons. All of these songs include satirical elements about the show's story, but that has not stopped some from being genuine toe-tappers. Others lean more into the parody elements, thus making them worse as legitimate songs. Some, though, find an excellent balance of both, meaning that if they were played to people completely unfamiliar with The Boys, they could easily be perceived as genuine hits. With all that in mind, here is a ranking of all 9 major original songs included in The Boys, including what is likely to be the last of the bunch: Oh Father's musical number, ahead of the show's finale. Crimson Countess, a soupy introduced in The Boys Season 3, was the source of 2 original songs from the show, with Chimps Don't Cry coming in as the worst of the bunch. The song itself isn't awful, but there's no denying that this is the most outright parodic of them all. It is used to poke fun at the often performative environmental goals of big corporations, with the lyrics, melody, and music video making this overtly clear. As alluded to earlier, several songs on this list could be mistaken for genuine chart hits to those unfamiliar with The Boys, but Chimps Don't Cry isn't one of them. Everything about the song, from the silly lyrics about bananas not feeding a species and Countess's over-the-top dance moves in a cornfield, to the terribly composited overlays of chimpanzees in the music video, indicates its nature. While it does its job in a project as meta and satirical as The Boys, it cannot exactly be ranked highly when compared to the other, genuinely catchy songs the show has produced. In the sense of being an obvious parody, The Boys Season 4's See Something, Say Something is similar to Chimps Don't Cry. The way its lyrics call out the guy with a beard who's a beauty queen, the immigrant who keeps your apartment clean, as threats to America are incredibly on the nose in terms of calling out the far-right extremist politics of vote under Homelander's watch. This, as well as lyrics about doctors who make vaccines being dangerous, makes it a very clear parody of real-world and in-universe political views. Again, like Chimps Don't Cry, it does its job to parody some disturbingly real views, which is partly what makes The Boys so great. What ranks See Something, Say Something above Crimson Countess's song, though, is that it is much more annoyingly catchy. As a Muppet-inspired, supposedly child-friendly jingle, it does make you unconsciously sway your head to the Christmas-themed tune. Only when the lyrics sink in does See Something, Say Something take on its very obvious satirical edge, which ranks it below some of the more genuinely well-produced tunes of The Boys that are easier to enjoy. With America's Son, this list takes a turn. The prior 2 entries have catchy elements as songs, but their satirical elements make them too hard to believe they're genuine songs. America's Son is the first to change that. To those who have no clue about The Boys' world, the song could easily be one they wouldn't think twice about hearing on the radio or during a live performance. The reason for this is the production value being bumped up, with the parodic elements of the lyrics being much more nuanced. Only knowledge of Soldier Boy as a character, and thus the knowledge that he isn't the shining beacon of light and hope that America's Son presents him as, makes the song work as a parody. For fans of The Boys, this makes the song much better as a meta joke, hence its ranking above the likes of See Something, Say Something, and Chimps Don't Cry. This song is the first on the list to perfectly blend two aspects of what makes a good original song in a satirical show. It's actually a good song that people could listen to, with the parody elements being buried beneath the surface, poking fun at real-world, overly nationalist propaganda and the idolization of heroes who are not all that heroic. If not for other songs in The Boys that either work better as a genuinely catchy tune or a blend of that and more parody elements, America's Son could have ranked higher. Let's Put the Christ in Christmas is simply a more effective version of See Something, Say Something. It parodies the faux outrage that many people have about real-world Christian holidays being canceled or neutered to cater to other religions. The lyrics make this clear, if the obvious title doesn't already. As a satire of both The Boys' political climate and our own, the song works in context. More than See Something, Say Something, though, this song is much more catchy. It has all the Christmas-coded tunes, jingles, and sentiment that evoke classic Disney and a strange sense of nostalgia. Midway through the song, you can find yourself singing along and feeling happy before the lyrics, "Every Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, or Jew, you can celebrate Christmas too," plunge you back to earth, and you realize The Boys did its job excellently. An insane amount of effort was put into making it actually enjoyable, with the satire hitting you at a delay. In many ways, this actually makes songs like Let's Put the Christ in Christmas and those above it on this list frustratingly catchy. As a song, it really works. Enough to delay the realization that what it is promoting is awful, as a great satirical original song should. Faster, sung by A-Train and Universe, is in a strange place as one of The Boys' original songs. It has incredibly high production value for its music video and the song itself, with very few outright satirical elements. As such, it's genuinely just a catchy pop song both in universe and in real life. With little to make it outright parodic aside from a few lines, it's difficult to know where to rank it. Given it's yet another catchy tune, though, the middle of the pack seems fitting. I am unashamed to admit that I think Everybody by Backstreet Boys is a generational song. With that in mind, it's no real surprise that an almost direct parody of it in Rock My Kiss ranks this high. It's simple. This song is catchy as hell with a hilariously nostalgic old-school music video, reminiscent of, yes, Backstreet Boys, but also the likes of NSYNC or even One Direction. Moreover, it's easy to feel less guilty about liking this song thanks to the tamer nature of its satirical aspects. Unlike Let's Put the Christ Back in Christmas, which is catchy until you remember what it is promoting, the parodic elements of Rock My Kiss are mostly outdated pop culture references. From Loving Someone Like Brad Pitt loves Jen Aniston, or like Katie Holmes loves Tom Cruise to Friends, Twilight, and Netflix in the Mail references, the references are hilarious for anyone who grew up in the 90s or 2000s. As a result, it's easy to find a lot of harmless humor in the absurdly catchy tune of Rock My Kiss, Oh Father, is a character who could have been immensely forgettable as a rushed last season villain, but Davy Diggs' performance rendered him genuinely compelling. Moreover, Diggs brought his Hamilton pipes to the show with Raise Him Up. An overwhelmingly catchy gospel jazz tune, Raise Him Up, will get anyone with an ear for music vibing along with it. Diggs is a big reason for this, making the song one of the best in The Boys on musical merit alone. Of course, the lyrics about Homelander's ascension and how the entire song parodies some real-world people who liken themselves to biblical figures match The Boys' typical brand of humor perfectly. All of this puts Raise Him Up in the top 3 for The Boys' original songs. Never Truly Vanish is an in-universe tribute to the late Translucent, with the reference to his invisibility being the main source of parody here. That, and the over-the-top power ballad nature of the song, make it clear it is poking fun at the ways modern corporations give in memoriam tributes to people. This all makes it work as a parody, but I'll be damned if it isn't a genuine banger too. Erin Moriarty provides the vocals for this song and absolutely rocks it, arguably making the song even better. As mentioned several times, this is one of those songs that could easily be passed off as a genuine ballad to the wider population, with only fans of The Boys recognizing it as a parody. this was the first original song in The Boys that made people realize just how much time and effort went into the satirical elements of the show. It just so happens that Never Truly Vanish is equally impressive as an actual song, proven by its nomination for an Emmy in 2021. Admittedly, the ranking of these songs is entirely subjective, but Never Truly Vanish is a true banger, a good joke at Translucent's expense, and not as disturbingly real in its parodies as some of those below it, giving it the perfect balance as an original song in The Boys that is only beaten by one other. I've made my personal enjoyment of the likes of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys no secret, so it's no surprise that You Got Your License to Drive, Me Crazy, is, in my opinion, the best original song in The Boys. The satire elements are great here. Supersweet sang this song as a boy band, meaning the references to a girl who has turned 16 make sense. Supersonic's constant performances of that song as an adult, though, give it the perfect level of uncomfortableness, as the best parodic song should. Some of the most liked comments on the YouTube posting for this song include, "If Unfortunately a Bar was a song," and "They had no right to make an unholy song this addictive." This just about sums up You Got Your License to Drive, Me Crazy. It shouldn't be as downright catchy as it is, given the obvious moral drawbacks of a middle-aged Supersonic singing it. Nonetheless, it persists as an unironically infectious song. Social media agrees, with the song often doing the rounds again upon each season of The Boys being released. As it is, it's The Boys' best original song. The show has always been a disturbing, uncomfortable, yet equally hilarious look at the corruption of this world of soups. But it looks at aspects of our world in the same way. With You Got Your License to Drive, Me Crazy, The Boys does exactly that with high production value and the perfect balance of being a satire and, unfortunately, an absolute banger. Thank you for watching. Write what you think about it. Subscribe to the channel